here, nice of you to join me. And welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today, doing another tutorial in the large folio album. We are using the Hortensia papers for this one, but the walkthrough that I did with using the Sir Vagabond in Japan, if you want to click on the iCard up in that corner there, that I will put that link up there, and that will take you to the Sir Vagabond walkthrough of this album if you want to see it in its finished form. So don't forget to click on that. I'll also put a link up around somewhere up here probably to the part 1 of this album, because if you've got to this by mistake, you maybe want to watch it from the beginning so that you could follow along. So I'll put a link up there as well. As always, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really does help, and it couldn't be any easier. All you have to do is down here, there is my logo. If you move your mouse over that logo, a little subscribe button will come up. Just click on it and you're subscribed. It couldn't be that easy. The only thing that you may need to do is hit the notification bell that it says notifies you whenever I upload any new content, so then you don't miss anything. So in the last video we did the front cover and the sides, and we also coloured our sari ribbon as well, and we did the file tab holder on the side of the album. Now I can't actually show you because this is still wet. My Glossy Accents is still pretty wet, so I don't want to turn my album over, but we made this here. So if you want to check out how I made that, then you'll need to click go back to the previous video. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to make up the small booklet that goes inside our, so let me just move this out of the way. Now I'll show you what we're going to do in this album here. So in this album here, what we're going to do is we're going to be doing this mini album that's going to go into our fixed box within our album. But what we hopefully we might get done is that we might get the policy holders done, and also the little concertina style book that we've made in there as well. But let's have a look how far we get. So we're going to make this album up here. So let me just close this all back up again. So we've got this on the front, which is our photo holder that we've actually made one of those before, but we can make another one. And then this is just like a flip over album here. So we've got, it's quite a simple a book. So we've got a flip up here, and then some flip up pockets, and a photo holder place here. So it's quite a nice easy book to do, so it shouldn't take us very long. Now I've got one of the massive big industrial guillotines that I can cut through about 500 pieces of card at one time. But if you haven't got one of those and you want to cut out your grey board, then you can use your normal trimmer. But what I would suggest is don't use a brand new blade. Wait until you've got your old blade and use that, because grey board will blunt your blade really quickly. So what I would then suggest you do is, whichever the measurement is, you cut it on one side, turn it over and do exactly the same measurement and cut it the other side, because these trimmers go down to 1 mil thick. So because then your grey board is 2 mil thick, that's why you need to cut it on both sides. Failing that, you could use a craft knife and a ruler if you want to. Either work rather well. So for your covers, you'll need to cut 2 of these at 6.5 by 4.5. Okay, so that's your that's your front and back cover. Then for our little tiny spines on the side, you'll need to cut 2 at 7/8 by 4.5. And then for the closure, which is this bit here, you'll need to cut it at 2.5 by 4.5, and you just need one of those. So we're going to use the construction method to put our pieces together. So putting your album together, you'll need, it goes like this. Okay, so that's how you're going to put it together. So using your construction tape, now I've got some construction tape. Now this is a new construction tape from the lovely ladies at Cool Cats Craft. It's called Tiger Paw tape, I think, is what they've called it, and it's really, really good. So yeah, give them a go, give them a try and see what you think. It's a nice big roll as well, so and it's acid free, so give them a go. So I'm going to, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually construct my album before I do my sides. Okay, so how I do it is, as I always give a nice long piece of tape. I hang the roll off the end of my desk, okay, and then I will stick one side to half of the tape, okay, like so. Grab your next piece, and then you can either put it together so that it's level and it's even on both ends, like so, and then you can just give it a wiggle so it's down, and then move it across, and then maybe just then pull it apart so that the tape comes apart, and then you'll end up with a nice gap in between. Failing that, what you can do is, Cool Cats have also got these spacers. Now these are handy little things, they really, really are. They come with different, come in different widths, but I think I want to use the 1/4" one, which I think is that. So anyway, you do get 2, but I can only find 1. So putting that there and then that on there, you will get your 1/4" measure, your 1/4" gap, okay, like so. So then what we can do is you grab your tape, cut it off using proper scissors, and then you can fold it up and then fold it down, and then that gives you your 1/4". Now you do normally get 2. Now I'm going to see if I can find it. Right, I've found my other one now. It was right in the bottom of my pot. But so we've done the one side. Now we need to do the other. So grabbing your paw tape again. Don't be as vigorous as that. Pull this up, and again just put half of your board on. Put your spacer in between, like so, and then put that spacer in between there. Push it down, put your board in, or your second piece in there, like so, and then push down, take out your spacers, 1, 2, and then fold over like that, 1 and I need to use different scissors. I need the Tim Holtz ones. There we go. Okay, and then fold up. Okay, that's just a bit too much, so cut that off. Like so. Give them a little wiggle. Okay, now you need to put your other spine on, which goes here. So again, the same principle. Half on the tape. Get your spacers on, like so. These are 1/4 inch spacers. The ladies do different sizes as well, so it depends on if you know how thick you want your albums to be, or how much you're going to put in them, really. So push that down. Ooh, take off this one spacer, and then the other, like so. And cut off, and then push that bit over, and then push that bit up. Now again, that's cut a bit too much, so just trim off that excess, and then that's our so far. So now we need to put the closure on, and again it's the same thing. So half on your tape, put your spacers on, and put that down, that spacer in there, and your closure goes in. Okay, push that, burnish that bit down, and then take your spacers off. Like so. Cut that bit up, push that bit over, pull that bit up, like so, and I've done it again, so just trim off that excess little bit. Okay. And then that there is then the closure that's going to fit over the top of our box, like so. So now what we need to do is we need to put our magnets in to so that the box closes. So I'm just putting them on there so I don't lose them, because I love them very, very much. So with the magnets, so now this technique I got from Claire Travail, and it's a handy way to add your magnets. Now you don't have to put them inside your grey board, you can just put them on the top. It's easy either way. So, but what I'm going to use some heavier duty magnets. These ones are 15 by 15 mil by 1 mil, and they're just a little bit stronger. So you need to work out where you're going to have them. So I'm going to have them possibly over this side here. So I'm going to go in about 3/4 of an inch in width down. So about 3/4 of an inch by about an inch. Okay, so that's going to be where my first one's going to go. There. Okay, so that's my first one. Then the second one is the same. Come over about an inch, and then about 3/4 of an inch, so about an inch, so it's there. Oh, so it's there, and then an inch, so it's there. So there and there. So that's where, I'm just double checking because I don't think, no I didn't, I nearly didn't get it right. So it's there. That's my, where I'm going to first of all punch my hole. So using your crocodile, or if you've got a big bite, which is the same thing but just a bit bigger than the crocodile, just means you can get into longer spaces. So I'm just going to push that on there and mark around. Just going to draw just a rough guide of where I want these to be, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to push, give that to about there. So I'll come up from that line to, there we go. So then I know. So all you need to do now is chomp out that all of that grey board in that centre of that circle. Just enough so that you can get your magnet into that hole. So that needs just a little bit more cutting out. Once you've then got that, make sure that you've got them exactly how you want it, like that, and then just draw around, giving yourself a rough idea of where the next magnets are going to go. Push them in so they will go in like so. So I'm going to put some of the pour tape over that side there, and some over the other side, and then this can stick onto that, like so. Now you may need to take a little bit out if you've not cut enough off, which I've just tended not to do. There we go. It will go in. You will go in. I think I just need to cut off, just need a tiny little bit off. There. Let's try it now. Yes, that's a bit better. There we go. So push that back on, push that over, so that's in that hole. There we go. And then I'll put some this side as well, some of the pour tape, and then that's going to hide that. Come on, in you go. There we are. There we go. So that's them. So next we need to just cut out these ones. Now I don't know, no, see my crocodile is not going to fit all the way to the other side, so I will need to get my big bite out. So all this does is exactly the same, it just gives me a bigger reach, and it's a little bit quicker, I think. Okay, so hopefully that's all cut out. Okay, so I've just finished the cutting out the holes that are in the actual front of the album. So I've put my magnets in. Now I've put 2 lots of magnets in here just so that it gives a bit more of a magnetic pull, because it's going to have to go through quite a lot of paper and things and cards, so I don't want it to lose the actual force of them sticking on. Right, now we're going to then edge our our edges in the black. So I'm going to edge them all at the same time. So you'll need quite a bit of tape. So I'm going to turn it this way, like so, and then I'm going to put it half on, like that. Cut it down, like so, and then there we go, and then I can then wrap it over like that. Oh, you need to pull it really tight over that edge. There we go. And then, right, get your Teflon bone folder, and just, there we go, smooth out all them creases, because I did have a few creases in there. Okay, so this we can just cut off the edge like that. So that's one side. Let's pull that out again. Finish with doing it like that. I'm just running my finger along the top, so that when I then push this down, I'm going to use my tool, and I'm just going to start to burnish it down. Cut that bit off. And then we can just do these edges, here. So I can put it on, this one we can put on the top edge, like so. And then if we just mite it in those corners, and then push them down. And there's one. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, so that's then our edges all. Okay, so that's going to close over like so. Now when we put the when we put our pattern paper on, you won't see a lot of this black tape, so it just makes it easier to do. So we've now got to do our spine mount, and that needs to measure 4 by 4 3/8. So you can do that in your black card, and what this does is that it will help your album to be a bit more rigid, more than it at the minute it's a bit floppy, so this will help it become a bit more rigid. So you need your double-sided tape for this, which is here, and you need to put a double-sided strip next to each of the gaps between the two boards, so like that. Now you don't want to go right to the top because we don't want to see any of the double-sided tape at the top, so just go leave it about 1/4 inch from the top and the bottom. And then what I want you to do is put some double-sided tape around each of the edges of your spine mount that you've just done. So I'm getting there. Like so. There we are. So I'm just going to burnish them down. Okay, and take the backing off, like so. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, we need to get this it needs to be as level as possible. Try not to put it on so that you've got any slant, because you will use this as your guide for your pages. So once you think you've got it right, burnish that into place. And then what I tend to do is I use a ruler or something like that to just help bend it up, like so. And then the other one, like so. And then when we come to then put it together, you can see how nice, how that just makes that stand up nice and straight, and you haven't got any bows. Okay, and then we're going to put another one here, and that's just to help it to be more rigid. Good, and then some around this here. So take the backing off. So I've done exactly the same. I've just put a strip of double-sided down each of the sides. So 1, 2. Now I'm just going to give this a burnish, just to get that some heat into those onto that double-sided tape, so that it tends to stick a little bit better. Okay, and then when you close that up, you'll have a nice, firm, rigid album. Next thing we need to do are our hinges. So bring in our trimmer again and some doubles and some cardstock. I'm just using up scraps from my album that I've already, from the Folio album. So for the hinges we need these measurements: 4 1/4 by 1 7/8. So 4 1/4 by 1 7/8. That's one. And then this needs to, we need to score this at 1/2 inch on either side. So we'll score it one side, flip it or rotate it so that you've got the other long side on the score, align, and then that's your one hinge. The next one is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. So is that my 4 1/4? Four 1/4 by 1 1/2. And do the same, score these at 1/2 inch on either long side as well. So one, rotate it to the other long corner, other long side, and then score them down. And then we're just going to use the bone folder just to burnish and make those creases or those score lines even more creased. Just gives it a nice crisp finish. And then they are going to be our hinges. So to attach the hinges, just some double-sided tape and some glue. So on the small one, I'm just putting it down the centre. Take it off. Take the backing tape off, and then just add a bit of glue. This will give the wiggle room so that you can move it, because you'll need a little bit of room so that you can get them in the right spot. Like so, because you're trying to. That's one. That looks about right. There we are. And then you can burnish it down when you've got it centralised. There we go. So that's our hinges. Then we can put them into our book. And they're going on, they're not going on this side, they're going on this side. So you want the side, what you want is one long, your fat piece of grey board on your left hand side, and the one with the closure on your right hand side. Okay, and then we're going to stick these into our album like so. Again, just one line of double-sided tape. Take those off and then just put some glue on to help with the wiggle, and then we can fold them over so that we can get a nice even line. Like so. I think that's about right. Yeah, let me just check. Yes, that's perfect, I think. No, I need to come over a little bit, and I'm just a little bit out. There we go, I think that's a bit better. Just check, yes, that's better. I was just a little bit out, that was all. Okay, so now we've attached them. Okay, so for my pages, you need to cut, they need to be at 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 deep. So you need to do 4 of those. Next, we need to give ourselves a 1/2 inch score line, like so, and then these are going to fit onto our hinges like that. Okay, so they're going to fit like so. So you need to give these a score on each one. So you need your 6 1/4 measurement going down the side. Okay, it's down here. So 1/2 inch. One more, 1/2 inch. And then round your edges. Oh, sorry, round your corners. Now, you could also round the corners of your album if you want to, because that looks rather nice as well. But again, it's entirely up to you. I'm going to do that actually because I didn't do that on the other one. And if you've got the crocodile, this just goes through like butter. And I use the 1/4 inch rounder. And then, as you can see, I have got now a little grey board showing through. So you just take a permanent black pen and just colour them in. And that then will disguise that you've done them as you've cut them off. There we go. So as you've done that to the grey board, you need to do it to your pages. With our pages, we need it so that it's upside down, because this will be the front as we open up, but then we turn it around so that we're working from the back. Because what I want to happen is when I turn it round, I want to see that on the front. So it's just one continuous sheet, and then have the workings out on the back like that. Okay, that's what my theory is. So put your double-sided tape onto either your page or your hinge. Okay, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place our page at the bottom and just very gently work that hinge over onto the page like that. Okay, so that's one stuck, and then we do another one. So the double-sided tape, you don't want to put it right to the bottom of that hinge because you don't want to see the double-sided tape. You want it hidden. So here comes the next one. So again, line it up so that the sides are the same and they're equal, and then push it over. Okay, there's two. Let's do the third one. If you put your double-sided tape onto your page, and it goes onto that, below that scored line, and let's just get them leveled up. Push that over, and then that's the last page now. I think it doesn't matter, I think it works both ways. It's what's easiest for you. Nothing is right or wrong. We all do things differently, but the same. So that goes onto there like that. So then we can turn this back round the right way, and then we haven't got, there, that looks better. There we are. There we are. And there we are. And they're quite nice and level, which is good. Okay, now for our pockets. Now I've got a pocket on this page, so that's one pocket with a tag, and then the next page is a little flap. Now you've got the choice, you can either make them as a flap or you can have it as a fixed pocket. It's entirely up to you, however you want to do that. I just thought a little flap made it a little bit different than just having pockets all the time. Let's cut the pockets out, and then we can decide what we want to do. So with this we need to cut them at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So bring in our paper again, and again, if you've got offcuts, use your offcuts. So 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then at the bottom you need to add a 1/2 inch score. Okay, so like that, and then these are going to fit onto our page like that. Now you can either have it where it's like so, or you can have it where it's actually attached to the hinges. So again, that choice I'll leave up to you. So we need to cut out 4 of those. Okay, so that's my 4. Now I'm going to round the edges of these as well. I keep saying edges, round the corners of these. And what I haven't done is added my score line. So you can work out now how you want them. So do you want them going like this? I think I'm going to have them like that actually, because I think that looks alright. So I'll have mine with my glue tab goes in. So with that, then you put the double-sided tape on the mounting fold side of your glue tab, and then come up about 1/8 of an inch past that bottom score, and try and get the sides married up as best you can. So I'm going to have that one as a pocket, and then you could put one on here and have that as a flap if you wanted to. You could have one there, but I'm going to have one on this side, and this is going to be a pocket, and I might put something on there. So let's put this pocket on, or you can have this as a flap. You can have a pocket, flap. Actually, let's go pocket, flap, pocket. So again, this is going to go just above that bottom score, marry the edges up, and then burnish down like so. Okay, so that's so we've got a pocket, a flap, a pocket, goes on here. And then the last one is going to be our flap. And that goes along there like so. Okay, so there we are, have it. So now for the pockets, how are we going to get them so that we can make them a pocket? So here comes in your trusty tape. That's probably a bit too long, but we're going to tape the sides to the page. So I've done that bit too much. So tell you what, let's put the tape on the back and then fold that over, and then we can pull it round so that it then catches that side. So do the same on this side. Turn it around the other way. So again on the back, take them off, push it down, okay, flip it over, and then push your pocket so that it's flat. You want no air bubbles in that cardstock at all, so that when you pull that over, your pocket's going to sit flush and flat, and it does. There we go, so that's one. So that's going to be a flap, so you could leave that. So next one is the pocket. So we can do the same thing. Put it half on, half off that side. Bring it round and then pull it nice and tight. And then put your hand on and just run that cardstock so that you've got no air bubbles in there at all. There we are. I've just made a bit of an error there. I cut into my tape, into my paper. So that's going to be another flap. So we've got a pocket, a flap, a pocket, a flap. So if you wanted to put something on this side, you could have put another. You could put another flap on there, maybe a bigger one, or you could have put a pocket going this way. Really, it's entirely up to you. I wanted to just do it so that the album wasn't too, it wasn't too full, so that you could get your you know, your pictures and stuff in them. So that's why I kind of left it you know, pretty simple really. But again, you can do, there's so many things you could do with this. It's you know, it's how far your imagination goes really. So on here I've put a flap, but I've actually added it onto my paper, but I'm going to actually put it behind my paper so that it sits behind, so we haven't got this black line. So I'm going to put that on now before we put the paper on. So that then measures, let's get it the right way, 4 by 5 and I'm going to go 5 3/4. So 4, yeah, it was 4 by 5 3/4. So 4 by 5 3/4. And then on the 4 measurement, you need to put a 1/2 inch glue tab. Okay, so with the 4 measurement down the side, you are scoring along the long edge. Then that is going to fit onto our page like so. So double-sided onto the mountain fold side of your glue tab. And then we're going to put this as near to the edge as we can get it. Like so. Try and get it as level as you can. There we are. And then burnish that down. Then that's one flap. Now if you wanted to put another flap over the top and have it flap up, flat down, let's do that. Let's live dangerously. So 4.5 by 5 3/4, and then a 1/2 inch on that 4.5, and then that's going to fit on there. Okay, so double-sided tape on that mountain fold glue tab. And exactly the same, but this time we want to make sure that we are getting the, we're making it so that the edges of the previous one, so these edges here marry up. Okay, so once you've got one side on, you can then maybe just push that next one down. Yeah, I think that's about right. So we've got a flap up and a flap down, and the only thing I'm going to do is just round those corners. So we're getting there, it's getting there. So that's our flap up and flap down in there. Now you could put a policy type closure on there if you wanted to, instead of doing magnets. That could be a good way. We can either have it going this way, or we can have it that way. the choice is yours. I've done that one going up and down, but let's do this one this way and this way, and then you can choose whether you want to have them the same or two different ones. So to do that, we will need to cut our card at, if we go 6.5 by 4.25, and you need two of those, and then we need to so with the long measurement down the side of your trimmer and your short measurement along the top, we're going to score at 1/2 inch on that short edge. 1/2 inch on that short edge. Okay, and then this is going to go there, and then this one's going to go there. So let's round those corners. And put the double-sided tape on, and it goes on the mounting fold. 1, 2. So take that off and try and get this again as near to that edge as possible, and try and get it so that it's nice and level with the top and the bottom of that spine mount, like so. And then again on this side, exactly the same. So it goes there. Get it. There we are. I need to come over just a little bit more. Like there, and there we go. And then that's the flap up and flap down. So close them up. So we've got the basics now of our album sort of sorted out. We've done all the donkey work, as they say. Right, I'm going to leave it there for this video and have a bit of a tidy up, because I'm kind of drifting over here now, because I've got this side here is just a mounting of rubbish. So thank you once again for watching this video and supporting me. I really hope that you are enjoying this series of videos as much as I am enjoying making them. As always, please subscribe to my channel. If you're on a PC and you click on my logo, which is down here in this corner, a little icon will come up that says subscribe. Just hit that and you're subscribed. It's as easy as that. If you're on your tablet or your mobile phone, I think the subscribe button is down by the comments, just there. Just hit that and then you're subscribed. It's really easy to do, and it does help an awful lot. Don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, and then you will be pinged every time I upload new content, so you don't miss anything. Come and join me on my social medias. I have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all of those. Everything will be linked in the description box down below, as always, as well as a few shopping links to all my supplies that I have used. So thanks again for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye!